Hi everyone! In this video we're going to explore how to identify cases that have referred to, applied or interpreted legislation. From your studies in Introduction to Law, you should be able to perform a basic search to locate current legislation. But this video is going to build on those skills and teach you how to perform advanced search techniques so that you can locate cases that have interpreted, applied, or at the very least cited legislation that is relevant to your client's situation. Now, as part of this process, I'm going to use an example research task that a supervisor might set a trainee or newly qualified lawyer. So I want you to imagine that you're a trainee in a regional law firm and you've just received the following memo from your supervisor. Now, why might your supervisor ask you to undertake this task? Well, it's because we must ensure when we're advising clients as to what the law is or what the law requires them to do, that we include the court's interpretation of the legislation as part of that advice.
So now I'm going to demonstrate how to use Westlaw AU to locate cases that have referred to the Gender Reassignment Act, and I would love for you to follow along. So pause the video now and log into Westlaw AU via the library. After you have signed into Westlaw AU, you're directed to this home page. Now, while you might be used to searching in this general box here, we're going to use this left-hand menu to narrow down the search. So in this instance, we're searching for cases that have referred to or interpreted the Gender Reassignment Act 2000. So we want to go to the cases section of the database. Now, if you were just looking for a case by reference to its name, you could enter that information in this box and then click search. Or if you knew the citation details, you could enter those here and click search. But we don't want this section of the case database. We want to use the bottom section here, because here on the left hand side you can see that legislation cited is an area where you can enter the title of legislation, and the database will search for cases that have cited that legislation, that have referred to that legislation in the body of the case. So let's type in Gender Reassignment Act here. And just before we click search, I just wanted to provide you with a tip. Now, the Gender Reassignment Act is very short and it's also very narrow in its scope. It doesn't cover very many topics. So if we click search and search for any cases that have referred to any of the sections in the Act, we're unlikely to get a large number of returns or hits. But there are some acts that cover a broad range of topics, such as traffic management legislation, and there are some acts which have hundreds of sections. So if we were to just search for cases that have mentioned that act, we would get hundreds, if not thousands, of hits. So in that instance, you need to identify the sections within the legislation that are directly relevant to your client's situation, and then narrow that search by using this box here. So you would provide the section numbering, you'd type section 15, i.e. 15 in this box, to narrow that search down so that you got a manageable number of hits. Now, as I already said, the Gender Reassignment Act is unlikely to produce a large number of hits, so we'll just search for that. Now, as you can see here, we've got 8 results. So there are cases usually provided in date order, and what we can see is that there is the first point function that's available to us, so that will provide us with details about that case, so what cases it referred to in the case itself, whether other cases have subsequently referred to that decision, so whether since Norrie any cases have referred to Norrie, and also whether any journal articles have referred to that particular case.
I hope you found this video helpful in helping you navigate Westlaw AU to locate cases that have referred to, interpreted or applied legislation. As ever, if you need any further assistance, please feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, I'll see you in the workshop.